Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shayla Appleby. I am a horror writer and am currently querying my paranormal horror that has been going by the name Project Marbles. And if you're not new here, I promise I am going to be revealing the name for Project Marbles, the name that I've been querying it with, and I will be revealing that in the next video. I am not going to say next week. I'm going to just promise in the next video, and we'll get into why it may not be next week when we get to life. And if you're new here, when I say when we get to life, you're probably like, what the heck are you talking about, girl? This is the August monthly matcha. So in the monthly matcha, these are my monthly wrap-up videos where I discuss writing, reading, and life. And so yeah, that's what I meant by life. When we get to that section, we'll talk about what's going on and why my videos might not be weekly as they mostly have been in the past. So grab your favorite bevy. I've got my matcha and let's dive in. We are gonna start with writing. Actually, no, we're gonna start with reading this month because writing will tie into life nicely. So we're gonna start with reading. Since we are starting with reading, I am going to share, I will be recording this segment on my phone because I typically will post a book report over on my SUBSTACK. I never got to uploading July's book report because life has really been lifing lately. So I am hoping to get July's up and then August up soon after. So yeah, if you see my phone in the frame, it is because I am recording this section for my Substack. Let's dive into what I read in the month of August. So if you remember last month's or watched last month's monthly matcha, you know that I read a staggering one book in July. And I felt really confident that August was gonna go much better and that I would, even if it was just by one book, I would beat what I've been doing all year, which is 2 books a month. That did not happen. But I did read more than one book. I kept up with my typical theme and I read 2 books in the month of August. The first book that I completed in August was Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. And last month, in July, I read Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. And in reading Black Sheep, I thought I had rounded up all of her backlist, but then I realized that she has something called, I think, like Bad Dolls, maybe, and I have not read that one. So I'm just about done with her backlist now that I've read Black Sheep. And yeah, it is a book about a woman who goes back to where she grew up, which is, I don't want to give too much away because I didn't realize it when I first started reading it, but it is a type of cult that she grew up in. She got away. She gets mysteriously invited back to attend the wedding of 2 people from her hometown. And so yeah, things go haywire from there. And Rachel Harrison is a horror author, so it does have horror elements in the book. I really enjoyed it. I think it might be in my top 5 for the year. We'll see. We still have the last quarter of the year to get through, but yeah, I super enjoyed it. The second book that I finished in August was All the Other Mothers Hate Me by Sarah Harmon. This was actually my book club's pick, and it was really good. This book is a thriller that has some humorous elements to it. It is about a woman who was in a girl band and she got pregnant. She married the guy that she got pregnant with, and then her career just kind of like was stifled after that. And she was no longer in the girl group, but she ends up getting divorced from her baby's father, and she stays in London to raise her child, and that's where her ex-partner is from. So she stays there to raise her child, and he is like a little quirky kid, and there is another kid in his class that ends up going missing, and then she starts, and what is her name again? Florence starts to become suspicious that maybe her son has something to do with the other boy's disappearance. So she is like an amateur sleuth trying to figure out what happened to the kid. And yeah, it was good. My book club actually was unable to meet. Everyone ended up having something to do that weekend, so we canceled it, but 2 of the other women in my group wanted to still discuss it. So we met online over Zoom and talked about the book, and I know the 2 of them enjoyed it. So yeah, this was the last book that I read in August. Overall, it was a good reading month, still pretty slow, better than July, but I still enjoyed the 2 books that I was able to get through. So that is it for reading. Let's move on to writing. There is not a ton to share in the writing department. I started querying the very last day of July, and I sent out, I think, maybe 2 batches in the month of August, and received a few rejections, but I will be putting together an entire querying journey vlog to upload when I get an agent. So that's all I'm going to share about that. And like I said, I'm putting together a video. My next video that I upload will be all about Project Marbles and just kind of doing a little wrap up on that. So I had started cooking up some ideas for my next work in progress, and was, writing some things down, made a little mood board, and was excited to dive in. And we're gonna just kind of slide into life a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the little life screensaver here so that when I do the chapter markers, we've kind of dived into life at this point. So I'll see you on the other side. So as I was working on kind of getting myself ready to dive into a new story, the biggest life news I have is that I have started graduate school again. So I got my master's in technical and professional writing back in 2022, and right when I was getting ready to graduate, the university that I was getting my master's from started a creative writing certificate program, and my advisor had told me about it and was like, hey, are you interested in doing this? You'll just have to take these courses. And if I'm being honest, at that point, because I was also working a full-time job, I could not see myself prolonging my time in grad school at that time. So I said, thank you for thinking of me. This might be something that I revisit in the future, but right now I'm good with just getting my master's. So rewind to now, I have revisited the creative writing program, and so I have gone back to grad school to get a graduate certificate. So this is not another degree, but it is an academic certificate in creative writing, and I wanted to do it. I felt I was ready. I was in a good place with work. I now have a different full-time job than I did when I was working on my master's, and I felt like I was in a good spot to be able to start this new adventure. So yes, that is why I have been extremely busy. Not only that, I work in marketing and communications, and it is currently busy season for us at my place of employment, and it has been busy from the middle of August until now, and I am recording this in the middle of September, even though we're talking about August, but it has been busy the entire time. So not only have I been busy at work, I am in school. So a lot of my focus has been going towards those two things, and my energy has been going towards those two things. So I have not been able to start my next work in progress, which is really what I was hoping to be able to do the last quarter of 2025. But my very first class for this program is fiction writing. So I have been writing, but it just has not been my big project that I wanted to start. We are writing short fiction. This is my first time delving into any type of, well, I can't say any type of short fiction. I have written novellas before, but short stories, flash fiction, that kind of stuff, I have not written before. And so my first story I titled Must Love Cats, and it is a satirical horror. I did get my peer feedback on that, which was all great. I will put it up here somewhere. And then I just got my grade back from my instructor, and he gave me, I want to say it was a 93, maybe a 94, or a 93.4, maybe that's where I'm getting the 4 from. And he had some very useful feedback that I can tie into that story and also take forward into my next big writing project. So that's been nice. I've since also submitted my second short story, and it is an excerpt from a social horror that I have queried before and had to shelve. And I got great and critical feedback from my peers from that excerpt, and then reworked it as best as I could for the assignment, and I just submitted that yesterday. So in September's monthly Matcha, I can talk about what my instructor said about that. And there's one more short story that we have to write. We're writing 3 short stories, and then our final assignment is to submit like a final version of one of those stories. So that has been where my writing focus has been as of late. I am hoping to be able to start working on my big project, my next work in progress, once this class wraps up in October. And my next class will be poetry writing, which I have not written poetry since like high school, I think. So that might pose a little difficult for me, which means I might still not be able to really focus on my next work in progress, but I'm really hoping that I'll be able to squeeze that in. Things are also dying down at work to be a little more like normal, to where I'm not like super overwhelmed by the time I get home. So yeah, that is the biggest part of life, but we can move into some other things that happened to me in August as well. So again, I'm going to be looking at my phone, but I am going through my photo dump that I do on my personal Instagram every month. That's the only post that I put on there, and I obviously am dumping pictures of highlights of what happened in each month. So I'm looking at my August post to kind of jog my memory about what kind of things went down in the month of August. The very beginning of the month was my birthday, and so I went to the Georgia Aquarium and got to see some really cool animals. And I haven't been to the Georgia Aquarium, I want to say since high school. It's been a very long time since I've been there, but I got to see jellyfish, the whale sharks. One of the whale sharks did unfortunately pass away, but I was able to go while there were still 2 there, and I saw the dolphin show, and it was a really, really good time. I definitely enjoyed myself. Again, a lot of time spent on schoolwork during the month of August. I went and grabbed some drinks with one of my girlfriends for my birthday. I want to say my friends came over and helped me paint my house black. That may have been in July when they came. It may have been the week before my birthday, but if I hadn't mentioned that before, then yes, and we still have things that I need to hang up on the wall. But one of my other girlfriends who did not come to the paint party, she took me out for dinner, and we went to a restaurant in the downtown area where I live, and they have Whiskey Wednesdays. And so yeah, we went and enjoyed that, and it was a good time. My dad and okay, sorry, I just looked up because I just got an email. And like I said, I am querying, and I have an email that's just for querying, and it's only on my iPad, and I just got a notification. It was nothing to do with my book. It was something else. So sorry about that. So my dad and his wife also came and took me out for, no, because it was after work. They came and took me out for like a late lunch, early dinner. A late lunch, early dinner. A late lunch, early dinner on a Saturday, because I work Saturdays, but I get off at 2 on Saturdays. So they came and we went to that same restaurant that my friend took me to and enjoyed drinks and dinner. And I got this salmon risotto. When I tell you, that was one of the best meals I've had in a very long time. I actually want to go back and get it. One of my friends came and visited me from Athens. I don't know if I mentioned this in the July monthly matcha, I can't remember now, but I went to her house for our girls' night in, our annual girls' night in, and we like hung out by the pool and had drinks. Yes, I did, because some of the other ladies from her office came and joined as well. Well, in August, she came to visit me where I live, and we went and had dinner actually at that same restaurant. I visited them a lot last month. And then we walked over to another bar in the downtown area and had some drinks and caught up. And then we came back here and watched a documentary on Netflix and then fell asleep. So it was great. It was nice, cozy, chill vibes for sure. Georgia football season started. If you could not tell by my shirt, I am a Georgia Bulldog. I graduated from UGA and I am a huge fan. So football season started. I did go to the season opener in Athens, and I went with my sister. We tailgated with some of my friends, and then we went and enjoyed the game. It was very, very, very hot that day. It was extremely hot. So we didn't stay for the entire game, but we stayed for a good chunk of it. And then me and my sister left, came back to my house, freshened up, and then went out for dinner. And that was a really good day as well. I met with my writing group. We hadn't been able to get together for the last like couple months, I think, because it was summertime and everyone's schedule was just all over the place. But we finally were able to get back together again and had a little bit of writing. And that was a time that I was like excited to see them again, but I was pretty upset because I wanted to work on my current project, but I had a short story due, so I was working on my short story when I was with my writing group. But we are meeting again. 2 of us are meeting again at the end of this month, September, and I am hoping I'll be able to work on my hopeful work in progress when we do that meeting. And then the next week we'll meet again, the full group, and I should definitely be able to work on my work in progress then. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, that was a good time. We went to a bookstore. I bought The Haunting of Hill House. I've been wanting to read that for research purposes for a long time. I have not read it yet, but I'm excited to dive in. And then I went and got a turmeric latte. They got some food, and then we went up to this like big seating area and started writing, and it was a good time. And then after that, I drove straight to my mom's house and dropped my stuff off because I was gonna stay the night with her. And then we drove like, I don't know, a mile down the road, if that, to my aunt's house, and she has a pool in her backyard. So we got to go swimming and have some snacks and drinks. My mom's husband makes very, very, very good margaritas. So I had a great birthday that day as well. That was to celebrate my birthday because that was the day that we could all get together, like that side of my family. And again, as I've mentioned in the past like 2 videos, I'm a Leo, and so of course I'm like, yeah, let's celebrate my birthday all month long. I'm here for it. So after that, we went back to my mom's house. Her husband made hamburgers, and I got to be very fancy and have goat cheese and arugula on mine. Okay, It was delicious. And yeah, then I woke up the next day and came home and probably did more schoolwork, if I'm being honest. And that about wraps up life for August's monthly matcha. It was a busy time, but also I didn't do like too many things, or maybe I did a lot of the same thing, so it didn't seem like too many. But yeah, it was busy. It was busy for sure. That's why we're just now getting to this wrap-up video. So that being said, with the way things are going right now and how school has overtaken my free time, I cannot promise weekly videos. I cannot promise bi-weekly videos. I can promise that I am still thinking about this channel. I am still trying to film when I can, and I will get the videos up when I can. I can definitely for sure say it's not going to be weekly. I could potentially do every other week, and we'll go from there once school kind of, I guess maybe once I get acclimated to how my new routine is going to have to go. I am going to have to pick and choose where I put all of my energy, because I don't want to get to the point where I'm spread thin and then I just stop completely, because I do enjoy making these videos and really trying to build my channel, and not for anything more than just documenting my writing journey. I really want to have these videos to look back on at this time in my life. You know, future Shayla wants to see what past Shayla, you know, was doing and talking about, and I just think that's something really fun to do and a gift for yourself. So I am gonna keep doing it, but again, I don't want to get spread too thin where I start resenting it. So I will upload them as soon as I can. So that's why I say the next video will be a Project Marbles wrap up. I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after, but I promise I will get it up as soon as I can. And you can know for sure that a September monthly matcha will be coming sometime next month. And yeah, that's what we've got for this monthly matcha. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy you're here. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are liking the vibes here, I would appreciate and love a follow, and welcome you to my channel, Behind the Manuscript. And I will catch you next time. Bye. Also, can we say how proud we are that my cats didn't like come and take over this video? They're both napping. I'm also a little sad about it though. If they weren't asleep, I would definitely pick them up and put them on camera so you can see them, but I don't want to disturb their nap time. So maybe they'll be in the next one. Okay, for real this time. Bye.